He always says it's okay for me to just ignore him, but I just can't do that to him. If he's gonna put the work in it, I have to ink it. Got a few more over here. I might use a smaller pen for that stuff. Let's see, that's good for the straight edge there. Now, while I still have the thicker rapidograph pen in my hand, I will go in now with ellipses and circles. These are a big pain to do sometimes. Sometimes you can't find one that matches. You gotta kind of fudge it. Now, first of all, I want to say with these plastic green templates with all these oval shapes on it, these particular ones don't have a raised edge. What I did is I took some tape and, you know, as I need the shapes, I'll actually tape off, do a, I'll double tape around that circle to help create a thickness that will raise it off the edge of the board itself. What the raised edge allows the pen to do is to actually rule, and it won't bleed right against the underside of the template itself. So I look for all the circles and ellipses I need to rule with this pen anyway. First one I see looks like to be this one, and since this is much closer to us than say this one, I'm going to save the tiny pen to rule that one in the more distant part of the building. I just kind of have my own personal arsenal. Just have to find one that fits, the closest match. It's not a perfect circle, so I'll go to the one that's not a perfect circle but almost there. Might have to do some connecting the lines, cleaning up the corners a bit. I'm going to render this as if this circular shape is recessed into the building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thicken up the top portion of it to make it look like it's in shadow, and it'll actually look like it's recessed into the building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the template up just a bit from that line to give me more space to rule an extra line right against it to double its thickness. There you go. The top part of that circle is thicker than the bottom part. Therefore, it gives the illusion that there's a shadow right there, and it looks like it's pushing that circle back into the building. It's not that complicated once you see how these things are done. Now I'm going to move in the second panel, and I see great opportunities to use ellipses. Use this one again. Try to match the shape that goes with the eye right here. That looks good. And if it doesn't match exactly, if it's close, that's fine. There you go. Now I move on to the emblem on his chest. I might have to move on to one of my other templates. This skinny one might work. Maybe. Oh, look at that. This one looks like it fits pretty good. So let's use that. Looks pretty good. I'm going to create a little thickness to it to make it look recessed. So what I'm going to do is move this shape down just a bit. Rule an extra line right here. I thicken the lower line to make it look more recessed. I'm going to move to a bigger shape. I don't think Doug ruled these ovals very clearly. I think they're a little off center, which is okay. Just have to make it up. Does that look right? Give it a little more thickness on the top. Looks good to me. Now it seems that there's another oval around that. I might rule that in later with a really thin line just as a design element. Gotta go to the big boys now. These ellipses are so big that this template will only have half ovals or half ellipses cut out. So I gotta rule two sides and then connect them. This is the closest curve that will match that part of the ellipse, so I'm just going to have to rule it as close to the pencil line as I can, and then at the point where it doesn't match anymore, I will connect it freehand. I'm just going to fudge it. You'd be surprised at how many things are faked. You know, I hate to say it in comics, but the ellipse I have to rule is faked. But with a little bit of care, you can pull it off and make it look convincing. So it's pretty good, and I'm just going to go in freehand and then just connect those lines, maybe with a brush because I have more control. Connect it up and make it look like it's supposed to be one cohesive ellipse. So I think that's it for that second panel. For the third panel, I don't really see much need. Oh wait, actually, this little blow up kiddie pool right here. We'll need this big guy. I don't even know if this is even big enough to do it. And you know what? It's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fake that again with a large French curve. Try to match the curve as close as I can to the pencil line and rule it. I'll double rule it to amplify the thickness of this little kiddie pool since it is a foreground. And And I'm going to continue on that curve to the other side. It's not exactly lined up. I'm going to line it up. There you go. Rule this part of it. And then I'm just going to take the small French curve, rule that off here. Well, while I have the French curve in my hand, I'm just going to look at the other panels and see if I need to use it anywhere else. Some people who aren't comfortable ruling brush lines, as mentioned earlier, will use a French curve to do the lines, a woman's leg or something. I think we're in the clear for the first panel. Second panel looks good. So I'm going to take the smaller French curve now and I'm going to finish up this line that wraps around the edge of the kiddie pool here. Try to do the best I can to make it flow and not make it look like it's composed of two lines. I want to make it look like it's one line that's swiped all the way down. Sometimes it's hard to find the curve that will completely match what you're looking for. So you gotta mix and match curves and learn how to connect them effectively and seamlessly. Okay, here, what else? I think it's time for me to move to the small tech pen now, the fine one. I only use two sizes, a thicker and a thinner, obviously. And this is the Koh-i-Noor Universal Black ink that I'm using in these pens. This line width is small enough to where I can get the detail I want, yet not too small that it won't show up in print. Just kind of have to experiment and see what type of lines you like to use. I'm going to take out the straight edge again. I'm going to rule all the straight, thin lines now. Going back to the building structure, which were meant for thin lines. And just a few more down here. And this is the area right now where I'm ruling a very thin line right next to a very thick line to indicate the grooves I was talking about earlier that's set into the building. So it gives each one a little dimension as opposed to just looking like two lines right next to each other. With these pens, another thing to think about is don't dig them into the paper so hard. If they work well, the ink will just flow out smoothly and you just literally lay the tip on the paper and you just glide. So all you need to do, don't ruin your lines by digging the pen so deep into the paper. I think these are just like little designy mini waffle gradation up here. Since they're vertical, I'm just going to take the straight edge and just do it. And I'm throwing some cross hatching on there too, even though it's not really indicated too much. I'm sure that's what he wanted. I'm sure it's so insignificant he doesn't care. Well, I'm going to rule now the lines that are coming off from this horizon line, the vanishing point. We should be almost done with the straight line bonanza, which I so desperately hate. And when you're ruling these lines, if you have breaks in your lines to indicate any type of dimension on the surface, make sure that with your thin lines, your breaks are on the consistent side as your thick lines. I forgot to rule a vertical line here. Go ahead and connect that. These lines I'm ruling right now I think are actually meant to be like little waffle gradations that I started over here. I'm going to rule them with a thin pen with the vanishing point because the vanishing point is a good guide to establish the lines going in this direction. and I'm just going to break up the lines similar to what I demonstrated in the third panel with waffle gradations. And I'll come back in with a brush and I'll touch it up with line variations to make it resemble this pattern over here that I demonstrated earlier. But I'm just gonna rule these lines, line them up with the vanishing point to make it consistent with the direction of the background. I don't recommend adopting my lifestyle of so much fun and girls. Man, I am tired. Maybe I can take a nap. Quick little nap. As long as I don't oversleep, I should be cool. But then again, I've wasted enough time doing other stuff already. I'm gonna have to come in here and adjust some of these lines, as some of them don't align as nicely as they should. I'm gonna extend this line up. This line seems to be the corner point of something, but there is no line going all the way through, and it doesn't match this side. Actually, even if I extend this up and bring it back like Doug intended, it doesn't match this side. Actually, this doesn't either. I don't really want to redraw that. Could cut this in, or I could raise this all the way up and ignore the whole damn thing. But it kind of looks cooler with that feature. So it's just more work for me. So my goal is to match this side to this side. This side indicates that this part juts out just a bit, yet the other side shows a flattened version. No fun. White that out. This should be a corner running all the way through, but then I've already established these straight lines. See, this is some of the problem solving that you have to do as an inker. Since I've already ruled so many vertical lines, and this is meant to be a corner point right there, I'm just going to extend that all the way down as if it's a flat surface all the way down, just like that. Now I have to bring this contour back in to match this up here. And I will try to keep it roughly at the same angle as this. First of all, I'm going to re-extend this line out to where it would meet the outside of the building. Extend this thick line up, like so, and then I will create this recess so it'll match it. Now I have to create that to the outside corner point here. It's not going to work either because this doesn't match here. Damn it, Doug. Okay, I will connect this corner to there, which means I'm supposed to do the same thing over here, so it'll match. I extend this line here, because then I would just extend this out like so, then bring it up to match this side. X right there, X right there. This creates another problem that I don't like, is background blacks running into foreground black. Now, if I halo around that, I have to halo around the entire figure, which is another pain in the ass that I don't want to have to deal with. So I'm going to create a reflected underlight on the jaw itself of the monster. Now that's really thick, but I'm going to come back in and adjust it. I'll fix that up later. For now, I will continue just to rule the lines from that vanishing point. The vertical line is already extending past that line that I just ruled, so I'm going to touch it up at the corner. I'm just double checking to see if I've missed any lines that need to be ruled from that vanishing point. I think I've got them all. And now I'm going to rule out the remaining lines that are long and need to be straight edged. And the lines that are smaller, I'm just going to freehand. Some people will do it with a quill pen. I just do it with the Tech pen. Most of the tech stuff that's freehand is with the Tech pen. You're freehanding with the tech pen anyway. Don't press in too hard. Just keep a loose, relaxed hand. Don't dig the pen deep and don't grip the pen too hard. That's going to limit your expressiveness of the line and the quick cleanliness of the line. Start at one point, look at your destination point, and just slide it over quickly. Don't even think about it. I run into another predicament where these broken lines are not recessed enough to go along with the structure of the building here. I'm going to bring these lines in. And then bring them back out. I'm just going to ignore the broken lines I've established. Now when the angle is that steep, I'm just going to use a straight edge to make sure that my freehand connection isn't misaligned. I'll take a white out and correct an overextended line. And this is where the drawing skills come in. You just can't expect to be an inker if all you can do is just follow lines and clean them up. Just connecting some more lines. Now you can take a template and rule this tiny ellipse. I'm just going to freehand it. Good enough. I'm going to freehand some of the cross hatching on this pattern in the background here. Some broken lines toward the outside, more solid lines throughout the center. There we go. Any other ruled lines? I hope not. I'm getting quite sick of them. It's good for that. I'm going to freehand these tiny little waffle gradations, and they almost act like a reaction to the monster's hand pounding to the ground. So I'm wondering if I should use more of a speed line type. Now I'm going to stick with a similar motif just to keep it consistent with the ones up here. The only thing that's different is that they're thinner lines. It's a smaller area. Since the lines themselves are quite short, I'm not even going to bother using a straight edge with it. Throw in some more debris while I'm at it, while the pen is in my hand. Looks like this is directional, so it's going toward the impact in the ground. So I got to keep that in mind. A couple more stray ones over here. Making some dashes and tick marks, generally aiming towards that area. You're directing the eye towards here, where there is impact with your lines. A couple small ones over here. Now I'm going to go the other direction. Throw in a few cracks here. Could easily be done with a Crow Quill pen. Now we will rule the circles and ellipses that I need to with the small pen. So I'm looking at the first panel, this button on her jean shorts. But I'm just going to freehand that. It's so small, it's ridiculous to rule that out. See, these tiny little elliptical designs on the hero's deltoids are quite small. I'm just going to freehand that in with the tech pen. Something that small, nobody's going to check to see that it's perfect. Nobody cares. And if you care, then you're just a meanie. Let's see. I know there's a thin ellipse I wanted around here, so I will grab a trusty template that has that size that I need. Or is it on the floor? Yes, it is. There we go. I'm not finding one that circles it the way I want it to. So I'm gonna fake it. Thin line there. Flip it around. Thin line up here, and the thin line I'm ruling here is a little farther away from the center ellipse than the line that I ruled right here. This one's almost pretty much touching the center ellipse. This one is a little farther out, and I'm creating depth like it's slanted at an angle, that's why. Now the trick is to connect these two lines seamlessly. It's like surgery. It's gotta be so precise. That's horrible. Let's try to do this one. That's horrible. Maybe if it's shrunken down, nobody will notice. See, the outside ellipse turns out fine. Since that's against black, I'll just brush that in. Got some ellipses right here on the hero on the third panel. Let's see if I can find one that matches this one though. We'll keep the lines really thin. This one looks like it matches close enough. I'm trying to check to see where I should break the line. Good enough. See, I'm kind of sort of trying to match that. I got one on his deltoid. Let's freehand that baby. Then draw the rest of the design element. I'm just going to stick with the tech pen for that. Finish up his ear here. For something that's going across the left pectoral right here, this little band, some people might use a small French curve to rule out to make that perfectly straight. I'm just going to freehand it. I'm not sure if his lower body was ever defined, but looks like a couple bands there for a belt possibly. Just wrapping up right now on the designy element of his costume. And there we go with that. I'm going to try to use a template to rule this part of the curve that goes around the outer edge of the kiddie pool. So let's find a curve that matches. I'm trying to make sure this curve will flow into the outer portion right there. Make it flow into that tangent. Looks like it's all right. I'm going to bring that one down, do the same thing, this little line, so that it looks nice and round. I could probably do the same thing there. Do little hatch marks with the pen. I think I'll also use this pen to throw in the elliptical highlights. And let's see here. I think we are good to go on any further French curve or template work as I double check. I think we could probably freehand the rest of it with either a pen or a quill or a brush. But I'm really tired. I think I should take a quick nap. Make it a good power nap. I should be able to make it. Something to refresh my eyes and my energy. We don't have too much to go. Should be fine. Oh, all right, now I'm screwed if I don't get this done. Alright, now I gotta wrap this up as quick as I can. I'm going to use a quill pen now. Not waste too much time here. I kind of overslept. This is a 108 Hunt, or actually it's a speedball now, I guess it's called. 108. I'm using a different ink bottle now. I'm using the one that's just purely the Higgins Black Magic because it's much thinner and it will flow a little better from my pen. Hopefully it will flow correctly so then I don't have to waste too much time. So I'm just going to put in some minute texturing that's left very quickly. I like the 108 better because a little more ink flows from it than a 102. Because of that I can just glide it through quite quickly. And the tip is not as sharp as the 102, so I can get slightly blunter lines, which is actually what I prefer. It's capable of getting pretty sharp lines. Because I'm using the quill doesn't mean that I'm not using the same approach as with the brush, especially on texturing. Some broken lines, some uneven lines. Same thing with the quill. There's just so much texture on this guy. I don't like it. Finished up his teeth and gums. Easily done with a quill. Oh, ah! Oh, I spilled my ink. Oh man. Just what I need on a deadline. Spilled ink.